Caching is an important aspect of any website. With WordPress sites, caching falls into two general categories: object caching and page caching. Page caching is often the one that has the largest impact for your visitors. That's why I built Ymir from the ground up to leverage AWS CloudFront to do page caching for your WordPress site. By default, every non-admin page will be cached by CloudFront and served via their CDN. You can see if CloudFront is caching an HTML page by checking its headers. Having CloudFront do page caching is also what gives the best performance. You can see this with the network request. By default, Ymir will configure CloudFront to cache your pages for 5 minutes. If you want to make it more aggressive, you can change the default expiry CDN option. You can also just disable page caching by setting the default expiry to 0. Your pages will still get served using the CloudFront CDN, but they won't be cached. I also realized that not everyone will need this level of aggressive page caching for their WordPress sites. That's why Ymir offers 2 additional caching levels for CloudFront. If you're not interested in having CloudFront cache your pages but still want to leverage it for your assets, you can set the caching option to assets in the ymir.yaml configuration file. This will configure your WordPress site to deliver assets via CloudFront, but not your web pages. This change will take effect the next time that you deploy your projects, so let's go ahead and do that. Now if we look at the HTML of the page, assets are now served using the CloudFront distribution URL instead of the ymir-sites.com vanity domain. Meanwhile, any request to the ymir-sites.com domain won't be cached and will always hit the API gateway and AWS Lambda. You can also take this one step further. If you don't want to use CloudFront at all, you can set caching to disabled. This will configure your WordPress site to use the S3 bucket where your assets are stored instead. This can allow you to use a different content delivery network or caching system if you so desire. But whatever you do, you're never locked into your choice. You can change the caching level at any time and redeploy your project to update your CloudFront configuration. Not only that, but you can configure different caching levels per environment. That's because Ymir configures each environment with its own dedicated CloudFront distribution. So you can configure your project to cache everything in production, but only assets on your staging environment. Ymir tries to offer you the flexibility to tailor your serverless cloud infrastructure to your needs. If that sounds great to you and you'd like to get updates or know when it goes into early access, just subscribe at ymirapp.com.